Welcome to the Monday stream. Hope everyone's having an awesome Monday morning. Oh boy. There we go. It is a cool, chill, crisp Monday morning here in South Florida. Let me see, just making sure we got everything ready. And do we have a bunch of headlines? Hey, Zeke, how's it going? Do we have a bunch of headlines to go over? Geez, I did not see that the ad that Yeah, I guess it didn't run the ad. Oh well. Alright folks, we do have quite the headlines to go through. Oops, sorry about that. We do have quite the headlines to go through, so let's start working on a couple of those. The first one that we begin with is not a good one. As US average of daily cases nears 200,000, experts say behavior and cold weather behind COVID-19 surge. We already knew this. Multiple experts, including Dr. Fauci, have said that this is going to be a very dark period in terms of COVID because of the cold keeping people closed in together, and the holiday travel. More importantly, the holiday travel, which is inconceivable to me that there was people by the millions. Traveling for the holidays in closed spaces in airports. Inconceivable. People are going indoors. They're not minding the 3 W's. 3 W's. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar told Fox News' Chris Wallace on Sunday. Our advice is always the same. Oh. Wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear face coverings. Yeah, seems pretty legit to me. Seems like the bare minimum anybody can do. Health experts have long warned that the holiday season would bring a spike in coronavirus cases as people increasingly gather indoors. Yeah, that's not good. I know it's like tough, especially during the holiday season, but there are things that you can do to attempt to mitigate that. Some of the suggestions can be setting up video calls. Right? Sometimes me and a couple of three really close friends on occasion do a video call instead of hanging out at a restaurant, or instead of going to each other's houses or something like that, right? I mean, we try to avoid gatherings like this at all costs, and something that you can do is video calls. Get your parents, get your grandparents set up with the Zoom. Hey, nice Christmas lights. Right? I strung them up myself. It totally wasn't a stream elements add-on. You should put on some Christmas music too. Listen, we're not gonna go that far, okay? We're not gonna go that far. Maybe as it gets closer, we'll play some holiday-themed music. Okay? Maybe as we get closer. Little steps at a time. Little steps at a time. This is like the preliminary holiday themes. And you want, okay. Alright. We have the holiday theme EDM-ish music as well. That's completely completely DMCA free. We have that available. In fact, I made a point to save it. Hey Sunrays, how's it going? Where's the biggest iceberg on the planet at right now? It was southern Atlantic, but I have no idea where it is heading. That's a good question. I have no idea. Hey, how's it going? Hold on. Eileen from Feminist Critique, how's it going? Hang on. I think I got it right. Yes, I believe so. Okay, beautiful. I did. Sweet. Awesome. I'm chilling. If A68 hits the ground around South Georgia, it could cause considerable difficulties for the lands, seals and penguins. That's sad. Yeah, there's a lot of domino effects that could happen if like a large iceberg goes under. That's right, A68. You're right. I literally just saw it. Right here. It is bigly huge. Are we crab raving? I have it set up over here. I have it I have it queued up. Don't worry. Hope you're doing alright. Alright, let's check out this self-own or self-OANN as they say. Nice Xmas lights. Yeah, I actually hung them up myself. It totally wasn't a Stream Elements doohickey.
As they want to talk about Biden's cabinet and the undoing of Trump's policies. They've allowed. Sure, Fox News and CNN are giving liberal commentators as much airtime as they want to talk about Biden's cabinet and the undoing of Trump's policies. They've allowed him to hold a press conference from the office of the president-elect. That's not actually a thing. That's not actually a thing. That's not actually a thing. That's not actually a thing.
Oh, no.
They printed the backdrop and placard to make it look official, but it's no more official than the sign on your daughter's door saying girls only. That's a very apparent attempt to just carry on with the orders of installing Joe Biden as president, and let's just hope no one notices the wheels have completely fallen off. That may have worked in past elections, but this year, you want us to believe that Donald Trump, the most championed president in recent history, lost to Weekend at Bernie's?
Exactly, totally not an overlay.
I don't think so. Can you imagine what was going on in the DNC over the last year? Guys, we've got this plan. It works every time.
Okay, so like, did nobody bother Like, did anybody at One American News Network bother to actually like check into like? It really does take only, I swear, like about 5 seconds to like make sure you're consistent and have this on point. Did like, I mean, this is the level of like, and this is like child's level. I mean, how could you claim to be a news outlet, a news organization, and not take 5 seconds? It literally takes 5 seconds. And who authorized that graphic? Did they like not? Where like, do they have zero quality control? They have zero screenings for information? Nothing. Well, I don't know if it's Russian owned, but it's definitely not. It is on the same level of like Breitbart or like RT, but I don't know if it's actually Russian owned. I just finished listening to the Michael Cohen podcast, and it's pretty good. This seems so amateur. Yeah, like this seems extremely amateur. Did you watch the movie Bombshell? No, I have not. They just assume their listeners are too daft to question anything. I mean, but like, it takes 5 seconds to at least put some effort into it.
Imagine their concern as they watch Trump's rallies grow and grow and grow, and watch Biden call a
and strike and strike and strike and strike
after press slid after press slid. Uh-oh, Trump's margin of victory may be larger than the few percentage points that they can sneak by in a software glitch. We need extra ballots.
A software glitch. This is embarrassing. Okay, so first of all, you having a large rally does not indicate you won the presidency. I just hope people understand that, right? So the reason why Joe Biden's like won the presidency is because like at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is not your crowd size, is who gets out there and votes. And this election was unique because it allowed more people to vote by mail. And do you know which candidate was telling his supporters to not vote by mail because he didn't trust mail-in ballots? Gee, I wonder what happened.
The truckloads. Their diabolical scheme that they think is so impenetrable is crumbling by the day. Well, here we are. Fox News and the rest of the far-left media went full steam ahead on their plan to install...
I'm sorry. Did she just say Fox News, the far-left media? Hold on.
Here we are. Fox News and the rest of the far-left media...
And the rest of the far-left media? Oh no. Fox News is now far-left media, everybody. This is worse than my community college programming. Listen, my co-host who comes on Saturdays, I highly recommend you guys hang out here on Saturdays, used to do TV production for high school. And none of this would ever fly in her high school TV production program. Okay? This is about the cringiest so far 1 minute and 40 seconds I've seen. Thank you, Dixie. Former Trumpers voted for Biden. They realize it's all a con. Maybe some. Oh yeah, it's definitely all one giant con. But I'm saying like, I don't know. Like Trump's like core base really didn't budge much. I guess some did. But I don't know. Maybe I'd have to look at like polls. Look at the clown show Rudy has put on for the last year. It's all a con. Yep. Just to let you know, I was in the cult. Well, I'm glad you're seeing I'm glad you're seeing that maybe this was all just one giant con. I mean, like, think about it. From the beginning of his business life, Donald Trump has been nothing but a con, right? I woke up and turned off Fox News. Hey, thank you. Welcome to reality.
Full steam ahead on their plan to install a president.
Yes,
Fox
that's what I
News and
said.
The rest of the far-left media went full steam ahead on their plan to install a president, and now they're watching Trump's numbers go
a president.
up. They know the key states needed to win are going red, but they've already called it. So let's just keep going. Trump has been uncharacteristically quiet this week. He's tweeted a bit, but hasn't made public appearances. He went from 3.
So, okay. Hold on. Number one, the media doesn't decide the president, okay? The media reported the results that have been coming in state by state and can accurately call a state based on all of the all the data that they're receiving. This happens every election. You know that, right? This happens every election. The media didn't decide the president just as much as the media didn't decide Donald Trump's win in 2016. It was just that they had enough numbers to say, okay, Donald Trump won this state, Donald Trump won this state. And then afterwards, it is highly unlikely that that the results would change. So in 2016, they said, okay, we can call the race for Donald Trump. The same thing that they did here in 2020. Once they had the data, and once they said, okay, it's almost, unless some monumental thing happens, there's no way that Donald Trump is going to overcome the tens and thousands or hundreds of thousands, depending on the state. So they called the election for Joe Biden. They didn't elect Joe Biden. They just reported on the data that they had. Jesus Christ. The Dollop did a 3-part series about it. We don't need a 3-part series on that. I think we're well aware. Just paying attention to other news did it. I still have no idea why I watched Fox News. Because they have a great entertainment. Like, they have a good way of, like, entertaining people and then shifting that and conflating that with facts. Like, for example, Sean Hannity does this. News, but also it's like an opinion / entertainment section, right? I had to turn off my cable TV and started only watching YouTube TV. Yeah, I think like the idea isn't about like a side or whatever. The idea is, at the end of the day, like looking at what reality is, right? Welcome to the ADT cult. That's right. Stepping out of the Trump cult into the ADifficultTruth cult. Yes. That's right.
3 rallies a day, seeing hundreds of thousands of people a day to nothing. Why? Democrats initially thought Trump was conceding and hiding after a loss. Trump has never done that. The weekend after Democrats cheated to steal the election, Trump was golfing. But
how do I say this? Citation needed?
Both days. He's not worried. And by the looks of it, neither should we, unless you're a Democrat. If you're one of those traitors who sold out our nation to China by fixing the election, you should be worried.
Traitors! You sold out the election to China. What is this accusation? I mean, I'm sure she's going to present us with the damning evidence anytime now, right?
Governor Wolf, Michigan Governor Whitmer, Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, and of course, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You should be scared. Your deeds are coming to light, and it's not looking good. I've been critical of Attorney General Barr and opined that he wasn't aggressive enough on corruption and hasn't issued indictments. I humbly withdraw my objection and stand by. Just observing. We are witnessing tactical moves in an information war that haven't been seen before in any of our lifetimes.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm basing your views and perspective gained from multiple sources. Yeah, because, like, at the end of the day, it's just like, it's about really trying to figure out, like, you have to weed through the editorializing, to try to get down, like, to the core facts, right? Because, like, a lot of these news outlets will say, you know, what happened, but they'll editorialize and paint a narrative based on their bias. No, I think it was I think that was a mistake. No. Sunrays, that was a mistake. You're good. Read the message above. It says, "I didn't mean to do that." Read the message above. Hey, Selena Gomez, how's it going? Hey, Mischievous Raccoon, how's it going? I try to watch Fox News, but I can't get more than 3 minutes into the lies. Yeah, well, it happens. Hey, Pasta La Pizza, how's it going? Hope you're doing all right. Oh, shoot, you're right. You're right. Pearl Harbor did happen today. That completely went right over my head. I completely forgot about that. You're right. Pearl Harbor did happen today. A day that will live in infamy. True.
It's unclear at the moment how all the moves are going to play out, but this is what I can tell you. Forget about the media for a second and tune out the noise. Just watch the strategy of what's taking place.
Forget about the media and tune out the noise as she is pretending to be the media. So I guess we should tune her out? Is that what she's saying?
Battleground states. Words don't describe how masterfully Trump is playing his hand. He's not taking the media's bait, and that makes them nervous. If he's not taking the bait, it's because...
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. She's the truth.
Democrats, the liberal media, and even some nations have laid
That's right. I
bare
forgot.
their true intentions and loyalties. The masks are off, and everyone is revealed for who they are and their true intentions. Stand by, America. Donald Trump has not yet made his move, and it's his turn.
I
That's
feel like
right.
if you made it this far, I don't know, you deserve a medal or something.
True. True. If you made it this far, you deserve a medal. That's true. Incredible. Incredible. All right. Can somebody really tell me who... Like, I'm just curious. Can somebody tell me who has the time and the energy to continuously make random accounts just so just to troll Ben, just to troll Ben on another person's channel? Imagine. Now it's like Pearl Harbor each day. That's true. No, I don't think you I don't think you I don't think you got what he was saying. Mischievous raccoon. Basically, the number of people that are dying are almost equaling a Pearl Harbor per day. Does that make sense? Hey, Mr. Frank. Because Ben isn't streaming today. So where else are they supposed to go? I mean, like, really, imagine having the energy or the time to make like a bunch of alt accounts with like weird, funny names, and I'm pretty sure it's the same person, just to troll another streamer in another streamer's stream. Like, okay, it's just like funny and sad. I like the Christmas lights. Hey, I find it is kind of funny but kind of sad. It's like, okay. Imagine having that much time on your hands. I like the Ben is a communist dog one the best. My favorite one is bleep Ben or something like that. It was like bleep Ben is a flop. Bleep Ben is a flop. Well, Mono had the best comment to that one. How will Ben ever recover? I don't know. They're probably the same dude as a difficult poop or whatever. No, I think everybody has their designated troll. I'm pretty sure that these are two people. Like, these are two separate people. Because, like, I know that a difficult poop might be like a funny troll, but he actually comes in and makes messages in chat, and it's like usually pretty funny. It's just like he doesn't really say much, but sometimes he does post in chat, so I'm pretty sure that that's like a person. I have rarely seen the person who's obsessed with Ben. I mean, like, geez, it's kind of weird. Like, the person who made a difficult poop has not brought it, the person who made a difficult poop has not brought it upon themselves to make multiple alt accounts and continuously like bombard other streamers, right? I think a difficult poop is Comrade Cosmonaut. Alright, hit me up, Mischievous Raccoon. What's up?
Watch live.
Oof.
Christmas spirit is teen sensation JoJo Siwa. Neve, I know your daughter Cleo might be a little young, but do you think she will one day be a Siwa-nator?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Cleo's only 4, but she already loves glam and she wears her big bows, so she's super into it.
Oh, if she loves the bow, she's ready.
Yeah.
Now, only ET talked to JoJo and got an exclusive look inside her winter wonderland.
Hey ET, I'm JoJo Siwa and welcome to my house during the holidays.
I can't do this.
You can see we have our
I'm sorry.
full of bows because you know me, I'm JoJo, I love bows.
Like this I don't know, this like out of touch reality. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like this is not reality, okay? I'm sorry, but nobody has like these McMansions. McMansions, okay? And like, can anybody explain to me like why we make like entire reality shows showing off like McMansions and things? It's like, it's very weird to me. Even even like from a long time ago, from like the MTV Cribs days. I just don't get it. Like, what is it's the idea that a media company would put this together. We love seeing rich people stuff, but it's like, it's not even that. Like, it's just weird. Like, imagine if I like decided to make a reality show of like all the stuff that I like have, and it's like, oh, here, take a look at my like stuff. All right, take a look at my stuff. I don't know, just seems kind of, it never clicked in my head like, why would I watch this? Yeah, just to be clear, we're not cringing at the person, okay? We're not cringing at the girl. I'm just saying, like, the how do I say this? The idea or the premise of like just looking at stuff and valuing people based on how much the facade, thank you, yes, the facade of having like all this stuff, and like how we glorify stuff, right? We're in a very strange time, true. Bleep Blop Ben, never heard of him. I heard he's one of the best robots on Twitch. In truth, one of the best. True. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to read that in Trump voice? Hold on. Hey Aronok, how's it going? I'm chilling. Round Midnight, hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing all right. People see your stuff and then want to buy stuff like yours. Yeah, I suppose, but it's like, it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre to me. It proves how void they are of actual substance and content. They have to show off their stuff. Yeah, like, that is their stuff. I mean, that is their content. Good dose looks awesome from helping Sansol charity stream. Do you stream, by the way? Aronok, do you also stream? Man, I heard Sansol did a fantastic job. Fantastic job. I popped in a little bit. I'm cringing at both. Yeah, like, I don't know. Wow, 7,500 in total for charity. Nice. Very nice. Hold on, folks. I'm Chai Bureaucrat. I was supposed to read that in a Trump voice, so hold on. Bleep Blop Ben? I barely know him. What I've heard is he's one of the best robots on Twitch. It's the truth. One of the best. What? Chelsea Manning? Cool. Kay Bennett was really cool to get her to talk and play Jackbox together. Nice. Chelsea Manning. Look it up, Mischievous Raccoon. Chelsea Manning, Chelsea Manning, Chelsea Manning. Oh, nope, not you. Come on. When her sentence was commuted, yep, that's right. That's right. Sanabi rated and Chelsea had been watching his stream. Oh, cool. No, I know who Chelsea Banning is. I was saying for you to look her up. All right, folks, we got plenty of headlines to go through. So she came on the Discord call for a couple of hours. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. All for a good cause. Anyway, sorry. No. That's awesome. I'm glad that it went really well. All right, folks. So we'll start with this. Let's start with this article. We already knew that the winter is going to be it's going to be tough, and health experts have already been telling us. In fact, we're going to read that the holiday season would bring a spike. Okay, so let's start over here. Health experts have long warned that the holiday season would bring a spike in coronavirus cases, and I'm sure around midnight, or as he's friendly called, Doc Midnight, can attest to. Spike in coronavirus cases as people increasingly gather indoors. As of Sunday, the U.S. averaged 196,233 new cases over the last week, another record high, according to a CNN analysis of Johns Hopkins data. Check this out. We actually made it to 200 over here. Where'd it go? 200, 205, 217. Yeah, not good, folks. And then 173. More than 14.7 million confirmed cases have been reported in the U.S. since the pandemic began, and more than 282,310 people have died. And with the recent spike in cases, record hospitalizations have followed. Yeah, so the issue is the toll on the healthcare system. It leads to more deaths. I mean, it's all bad. On Sunday, 101,487 were hospitalized with the virus, the fifth consecutive day the U.S. has surpassed 100,000 hospitalizations. Yeah, and these hospitalizations, the level of hospitalizations is a problem. I'm really happy to see that outpouring support for my community. As of 2 weeks ago, almost 3 to 5 deaths daily or more in just our ICU alone. Yikes. That's not good, Doc Midnight. 3 to 5 deaths in just your ICU alone daily. Yeah, but keep thinking that this is an issue. This isn't an issue. The issue is whenever the numbers go down, people think it's safe. Yeah, so just because again, I get really irritated when people see these types of numbers. When people see these types of numbers and they're like, well, those are just cases, and then well, actually, they're very low death rates. It's dude, why are you so zoomed in on just the death rate? You do realize that a lot of the domino effects of this pandemic is the fact that they're taking up ICU beds, which causes the health system to be stressed. It causes other people who don't have COVID, who might need intensive care, who might need to be admitted into the intensive care unit, not able to because all the beds are taken up, leading to further deaths. Not only that, even if you don't die, you have permanent, documented permanent health conditions, mainly mainly scarring of lungs, some neurological damage, kidney damage. I mean, just because you didn't die, or just because you didn't die does not mean that this isn't a problem. Okay? It is frustrating. Yes, Aronok, we need people to be wearing masks. It's not a political statement. It's not political in any way, shape, or form. This is a health issue. Your health, the health of your area, is not a political issue. Yeah, there's first. Like, if you don't have to go out, then you shouldn't. Like, hey, like if you have the ability to order Uber Eats or whatever, that's a good alternative. If you can, you probably should. If you can, you probably should. Like, you don't have to you don't have to go and eat at a restaurant, right? You don't have to necessarily, if you can get groceries ordered to you. Yeah, it turns out that they're the radical extremists. That's right, Aronok. Sorry, Thigzeek. They are. Imagine first of all, politicizing basic health knowledge. Like these are things that health experts have already confirmed. And politicizing it in the name of freedom, as we're probably gonna head into a lockdown if cases continue. It is extremism. You can't look at scientific or healthcare consensus and just disregard it and not be considered extreme, especially when we have hundreds of thousands of people dead. Incredible. Why isn't it showing in my... Alright, hold on, folks. Alright, I think that's okay. Hey, memo for the record. I just got an ad for Xfinity Gamer Grade Internet. What is Gamer Grade Internet? Somebody explain this one to me. Gamer Grade Internet. No, actually 100%. Thigzeek. I I wish I could work from home. How's it going, Memo? Hope you're doing alright. Yeah, everybody that can work from home probably should. I don't... It's just frustrating because it's like you need some of these people to be out there, but at the same time, you could just have a smaller... It's like taking the pain up front, injecting the economy with payments, and then in a couple of months, as we get better numbers, we start to ease it out until we can finally get a serious vaccine rolling. That should be the plan. I don't know why it's that hard to come to an agreement, but you know, Congress is here fiddling their thumbs about whether or not they should help Americans. For the most part, the way the media portrays it, it pisses me off. Yeah, I bet around midnight. I bet because it gives I'm imagining the reason why is because it gives that credence to like both sides of the debate, when in reality a scientific consensus is a scientific consensus. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no debate to be had here. The data is clear. Everybody should be wearing masks, should be trying to social distance, you know, washing your hands, social distance, trying to stay home, things like that. Like, this isn't a debate. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the government has a secret type of cure they aren't publicly releasing. Nah, I don't think so. With how much all the officials and everything don't social distance. Yeah, but like a lot of these people, like Dick Zeke is saying, it's like the reason why we can't make headway is because like we have extremist conservatives talking about how it's like tyranny. I heard that other Fauci at the start was saying masks were bad. He wasn't saying masks were bad. I think like this is another reason why Doc Midnight is frustrated with the media. It's like the reason why this happened, and he explained it, is because we were at the cusp. If Fauci would have said, everybody go grab masks, there would have been a massive disaster because all those masks would have been gobbled up by like normal people instead of the medical professionals, and it would have caused even a bigger problem, right? So it was kind of like a maybe the framing of how he said it might have been confusing, but maybe he could have said it in a better way. But knowing Americans and how like it's all about me, they would have hoarded all those masks that needed to be given to the medical professionals, and we would have had an even bigger problem. So like it's a very delicate balance, right? It's a very delicate balance. I don't know if he could have said it in a better way. I don't know if he could have maybe the media should have been very, very concise and responsible. And I don't know. I think Fauci got kind of bamboozled in the beginning, probably thinking that Trump isn't. Maybe. Maybe. But like, okay, so and let's be very clear at first. During the beginnings of these things, we also didn't know the scope also of the problem as well. Like we get updated information all the time. So it's like, just because Fauci said something at the beginning and now is saying, hey, wait a minute, we have this like new data. Like you do realize like stuff changes all the time. But yeah, in this case, it was most likely to try to get like the stuff to the healthcare professionals first. The problem is the media goes with it. Yeah, exactly. He just didn't want to get fired. Also maybe because he knew that he could probably do more good in his position than being fired and being replaced by a yes man, which would have been even worse. Everyone knows that COVID isn't lethal to the most. It's just contagious behavior that's causing the trouble. It's that plus the fact that like it strains our medical resources, because yeah, you didn't die, but you had to spend 7 days in the ICU. You and thousands of people a day, hundreds of thousands of people a day, are spending days, weeks in the ICU. So it causes that domino effect where like, okay, people who don't have COVID related emergencies can't get the treatment that they need. The hospitals are overrun. And I mean, like, this is just a huge problem. Yeah, sure, you may not have died, but like, do you see the domino effect and how problematic this can be? And just like the idea that people are like, well, it just doesn't have the same death rate. Like, what are you talking about? Second of all, as Aronok just pointed out, there's long-term permanent damage and health complications, as they pointed out. And again, just as they again just pointed out, if the system is overstrained, other people will die due to lack of resources. Lack of resources meaning people like doctors, because they're busy taking care of COVID patients, the overflow of COVID patients, the lack of medical ICU beds, ventilators, whatever equipment is being used right now to try to save COVID patients. And again, you might survive, but you just took up 7 days, weeks sometimes. Yeah, who knows? This is really, I've said this multiple times, this is really an unprecedented thing that we've faced as as of yet, right? Now, hopefully, with people understanding that they have to do not only their part, hopefully government will do theirs, but people have to understand that they have to do their part, right? Wear your mask, please. Stay home if you don't have to go out, please. Social distance if you do. Wash your hands, and again, wear your mask. It's not hard. It really isn't hard. There's absolutely zero excuse for you not doing your part. Yeah, apparently, Bejas. Hey, Alio, how's it going? There's no reason. Yeah, exactly, Darknet. You could absolutely do, that's what I'm saying, like, the government needs to do their part. In trying to get people to stay home. And you know how you do that? You make sure that their needs are met. Pay people to stay home. Because if not, if you make them desperate, they're gonna forego any medical advice, because they need to pay rent or mortgage or for food. I'm sorry, people need these things. It turns out, and I know this might be, a radical idea, but people need food, housing, education, and healthcare. Wow, amazing. So, like, it stands to reason that you should probably take care of these needs while this pandemic is going. It's not like it's not a radical concept, and it will do a huge 180 to these numbers. I mean, if you look at the graph and how the trends are going, there's no downward trend. It's like there's no downward trend ever. It's just like completely up and up. You need to turn this around, and the only way to do that is to keep people home and not desperate for them to go out and do what they have to do to provide food and a roof over their head. Right. This is I believe me and Doc Midnight talked about this. It's like this is akin to the argument for dealing with climate change now, right? Because it turns out the solutions that you will need further down the road not only will be harder to turn this ship around when it comes to climate change, but also way more expensive. The same goes for COVID. If we would have actually had competent leadership and would have actually got people to stay home, taking care of them, we wouldn't have a permanent lockdown. We would have had it would have been a strict and tough lockdown for 2 months, 3 months, but we would have had much better control of the situation, right? We would have had much better control of the situation, and people wouldn't be suffering as much, right? We would have done so much better. But now, to turn this ship around, it's going to be harder since this pandemic has gone completely out of control. It is not under control. And more expensive because more people are sick, and because we have such a wonderful healthcare system. More people are going to be in debt. More people are losing their livelihood. I mean, incredible. Oh, Alio, there's so much blame to go around with that. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I suppose the man who was shoved during those protests, that that 75-year-old man who was yeeted by the cops, and then all the cops said that he tripped and fell, even though there's video evidence of them actually like going like this, right? I suppose that happened here. No body cams? Wait, no body cams meaning they didn't have them? Internal Affairs and the Homicide Unit will investigate the incident. This is what I propose. We concluded that here we did nothing wrong. See, it's written right here in the report. By the way, if I'm correct, if this is the same unit that I saw a report on, they had 300 and something calls, and all of them were handled completely incident free. All of them. Not one problem, because it turns out when you have people who are trained for this, these mistakes are less. I think they really should deploy something like this everywhere. If I'm correct with the program. They had a extremely successful they have extremely successful results. Again, out of 300 something calls, mental health calls, they had 0 incidents. 0. Because they had a special unit to handle these type of calls. Sounds very cost effective. Yeah, it is. Turns out, probably if you can invest money in that, it will end up being cheaper. If you invest money and take care of the community with the proper professionals, you would have better outcomes. The man who has not been identified suffered cuts and well, yeah, this is a recent event, so I'm sure that they'll provide more details later. If they do. A man having a mental episode died in Houston police custody early Sunday after authorities say he fell into a drainage on his own. Officers responded to the criminal mischief call in a residential area composed of gated communities in the north side of town. Lieutenant Pavel said in a media briefing to Houston Police Twitter account. He actually tripped and fell into a drainage by himself. He got up from the drainage. Officers were able to take him into custody himself. Wait. Oh, okay. So he fell limp after waiting on paramedics. Pavel initially said that the man who has not been identified suffered cuts and bruises from the fall. Pavel initially said, but when questioned by a reporter, the lieutenant said the injuries came possibly from the drainage when he fell down from earlier in the day. So he fell previously but the cops said he tripped and fell while they were in his custody. So which one is it? Okay. But when they arrived here, he was having a mental episode at that point in time. You should be calling... There, in the ideal world, there should be a special unit just for these type of incidences. When you realize that you're actually dealing with a mental health call, in an ideal world, there should be a team of actual professionals that deal with mental health to handle this. This is incredible. Hey, Elias. William Barr stepping down. Ooh. It's actually scary. Trump will then get to appoint an acting AG that won't go through confirmation. The My Pillow guy. I don't know, Memo. I mean, it is like disturbing on the face of it, but like, what could possibly happen with an acting attorney general at this point, right? Like at this point, like what exactly is like the I think that William Barr is probably just stepping down so that he just like he can just quietly make his exit from this disaster. Some idiots in a Zoom meeting asking questions, wasting our time. Sorry to hear that, my friend. But hey, at least you're hanging out with us. Yeah, I think what irks me about this story is the contradictions. He needs to go update his resume so he can get hired by Fox News. Yeah, sure, Memo, but like you would have to have like some type of evidence for the courts to even like entertain this idea. Now, I know, again, it is disturbing the fact that if he attempts to do this, it will be disturbing on the face of it. I'm just saying, like, I don't know how this would play out in his head. All like the states have already certified their results, right? As of what? As of this weekend, I believe. States have certified 279, or did they all already certify? Either way, it's like past the 270. Shouldn't that be 710? I don't. What would be the impetus for being 710 channel points? You can declare a national emergency if the AG says it was stolen. Can he? If he does, whoo boy. I don't think he can. I don't know how the legal recourse would be from that. And I think, I guess it's possible, but not probable. No. The hoops that would have to be jumped. I mean, again, they've been trying. They've been sending cases to the courts. At this point, we're 40 cases in. 99% of them have been thrown out, save like one, which didn't even change the results of the election anyways. It's like, I don't know, Memo. This is like QAnon level thinking. Yeah, probably. I'm pretty sure he would just get dragged out by his comb over. I don't know. It's like, it's too remain vigilant. It's to understand and, I guess, reveal what the Republican Party is all about. It's very telling. They're clearly not about democracy. They're clearly not about the Constitution. If anything, this is to be used to be revealing, right? It's to be revealing. At the end of the day, they actually just don't care. I mean, the level to pull that off memo, I don't know. It's definitely to be kept in the mind, right? Because if they're willing to continue to launch court cases, frivolous court cases, who's to say that that they won't do something? I don't know. But right now, so far, what semblance of institutions we have left have been working. My grandma got forced into a corner and said that we need a dictator. What? I'm sorry. Can you explain how we got to this point, Thirstverse? How did that come about? I'm like actually super curious. Like how someone could come away to saying that we need a dictator. Like the United States needs a dictator. Is it because like is it because the alleged fraud that has yet to be discovered? Oh no. The Electoral College is not a true majority rule, and she said, fuck the majority, Trump should just stay. No. Oh man. I'm actually curious if like if there is any way you could possibly ask her as to how we got to this conclusion, and then let me know. Yes, a benevolent dictator, that's right. They're at fine, but the Electoral College hasn't voted, so we don't know right now. So I'm trying to imagine what will be the day after that happens. Fine, but Trump can't be removed by the White House during a pandemic. Right. I mean, but didn't they already certify the results? I'm pretty sure most states, enough states to pass the 270 threshold, have already certified the results. I don't understand. She says Obama started a race war? Okay, I'm super curious as to how we got to this mentality. Like, what were the steps to think this way? Trump will be the American Cincinnatus, guys. Barr resigns, Rudy has the Rona, Trump wants his way in money, and Biden is also president-elect, so 4 presidents in the executive branch. I know I have picked her brain a million times, and it ends up just being terrifying. It starts, oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know like how you would reach these conclusions. Like, imagine looking at like somebody who's attempting to essentially install himself as president and being like, yeah, you know what? Screw the 80 million people who voted. I want my person to be in there. Or like, hey, maybe America does need a dictator. Like, what? How do we get to this idea? I mean, that's what I'm saying. If anything, this has shown us that the Republican Party does not care about democracy. Does not care about the Constitution. Yeah, I believe so, Memo. What? What? Jeez. Imagine trying to give the people hope by denying the pandemic. Oh, because she only watches Fox News? Man, like, and that's so corrosive. That's so corrosive. What? Incredible. Anyone under 55 is done with Fox. Yeah, a lot of people who can shift through the BS are more than likely be able to look at a Fox News, like for example, they'll be able to look at like a Sean Hannity segment and be like, yeah, okay, this is BS. But unfortunately, people who are more susceptible, unfortunately, like there's versus grandma trying to say that, you know, Trump is trying to give people hope by denying a pandemic instead of actually doing something. Oh man. And the fact that her views on Obama started with the whole like birther stuff that was pushed. Oh my god. Yeah, turns out very, very effective propaganda for the bad. Senator Ron Johnson allegedly told someone in private that he knows Trump lost. He's just going along with it for political gain. A lot of people have said that, Darknet. Someone, oh, man, I believe it was Bike Shop Guru. I believe it was Bike Shop Guru who came in and said like a lot of the people in the GOP party have privately condemned or shown concerns of Trump's like rhetoric, and it's like, okay, but it means nothing to me if you're like privately saying that this might be a problem, or you're privately saying that, you know, wanting to suspend the Constitution is a problem, but like publicly you're not even saying anything. Publicly you're just agreeing or not, or you're either agreeing or just being silent. Like, then what is the point? Yeah, I could see that thirst first. Yeah, a lot of these prominent GOP people have said that they're kind of like worried. Some of them are even afraid because Trump is so popular with the Republican Party of speaking out against him. But it's like, then you have no principles. You do realize you can criticize when your party does it bad, right? You can do that, right? You know you can do that. Pence is following Trump or just laying low. I haven't seen much news on Pence. I think he's just kind of hanging out, trying to farm Trump for political points. He's poised to take the mantle in some people's minds on if you go to r/conservative, they're pretty happy about Pence 2024. Yikes. Well, Pence as a candidate actually wouldn't be that much of a threat. I don't think Pence has the same type of national... I don't think that Pence has the same national pool like someone like like Trump does, I don't think he will inspire the same level of things, same level of enthusiasm. So like if anything, that'd probably be a good opponent. If he can find a way to throw meat to his rabid base he and Trump have created, he could be a threat. I don't know, Sparrowhawk TV. I think he just doesn't have the same charisma. I mean, like, he's definitely intelligent enough to do that, but like, I don't know if he has the same like charisma pool. I just don't see it. Hence it's super boring to listen to. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't have the same like energy, charisma, pull, like whatever you want to call it. The it factor, I don't know. Like, it's not the same as like when Donald Trump rallies up or fires up his base, politically speaking. I think Pence would struggle with the primaries. He might. It's not that he's popular, it's that he has a faction that actively doxes and makes death threats. True, but I believe he also actually has significant pull within the Republican Party. Hey, Cinnamon Mountain. Hey, Dorian Sapiens. How's it going? I hope you're doing all right. My favorite part of this whole thing, QAnon people who believe 9/11 was a false flag are now supporting the mayor of the city who would have had to help cover that event if it was indeed a false flag. But you can't tell them that, or else you're part of the deep state. Oh, it is 10:30, folks. I'm gonna take a quick break so that I can a quick ad break so I can disable pre-rolls, and just a quick chill session. If you guys enjoyed the channel, make sure you smack that follow button, and on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. It really does help us out. We're trying to grow the YouTubes, and just really quickly hit that subscribe button, and it really does help the channel. I will be right back before we get we go through the rest of these. Thanks for the follow, Samwise. I like the username. We'll be right back. Subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you. Although I can't. What is? Okay. Hold on, folks. I'll be right back. I got an added Spanish. What? Hope you're doing all right, Samwise. Just had to heat up my coffee. What's left of it, anyways. Samwise was the real protagonist of Lord of the Rings. True. You had an ad in Spanish. That's interesting. Hey Zoo, how's it going? Yeah, Alio, it is one heck of a reality show. Hopefully coming to an end, and we can we not do like reality TV for president, a reality TV star for president? I think that's a good start. They already did run Sarah Palin as a VP. Yeah, I guess unless they're trying to hey Zoo, hope you're doing all right. Unless unless they're trying to like really do the id poll. They might, maybe in the primaries. We'll have to see. I don't think so. Yeah. Pretty disgusting story. Yeah, so in summary, please stay home this holiday season as much as possible, okay? New Zealand pledges carbon neutral government by 2025, announces 141 million to fund finance electric or hybrid vehicles and replace coal boilers. Cool, at least it's a step forward. How do you start an ad break? I think I have it programmed on the little thingy, Stream Deck. I have it programmed on the Stream Deck, so I just click it, but it's actually linked to my account where you go to Stream Manager, and then when you have the Stream Manager up, there should be a little quick actions, and when I set my quick actions on the Stream Manager, when I log into Twitch, it will you can add different stream options where you can run an ad, clip that, edit your stream info, whatever it is that you want to do. I set mine up as edit stream info, clip, ad break, raid, watch party, host a channel, manage a poll, and my Twitter timeline. No problem, Doc. Ivanka. Except she's Jewish, so they might not. Oh man, can you imagine? Oof. Several GOP prominent senators and leaders have already expressed like, hey, you know that the Democrat Party is actually the party of Bernie Sanders. He's the one controlling the strings. So I wouldn't be surprised. Today, get furnace repaired. Tomorrow, find out if I have a new job and can start supporting streams. Good luck to you, Dustin. I hope you get it. And that's true. You support just by chilling and watching and spreading the word. Yeah, like it's all it is just like that's a perfect way to support this channel or any channel that you really like. Just spread the word out, hang out in chat, all of that. Follow, all of these things are perfect and awesome ways of supporting the channel. In fact, we need that. It will lessen comparison to Trump, would give Trump supporters a chance to claim everyone who doesn't vote for the candidate is anti-woman, and that the Trump faction will be chasing the high of owning the libs that they'll become accustomed to. I mean, that I mean, it's possible. I don't see it. Democrats are doing that, and Republicans will blow the patriarch dark dog with some drive of the vote. Like, they know their base. Everybody knows their base, right? So I don't know. I don't see it happening. Maybe I'm wrong. And chatting, improving chat analytics is my heavy lifting. Yeah. That's right, thirst first. Alright, this article is good. I like this article. I think we should all be like New Zealand. New Zealand has declared a climate emergency and promised to make its public sector carbon neutral by 2025. 2025, not 2050, not 2100. Prime Minister, is it Jacinda Ardern told legislators on Wednesday that the climate emergency declaration was an acknowledgement of the next generation, an acknowledgement of the burden that they will carry if we do not get this right and do not take action now. And again, failing to address this now will only make things harder in the future. The motion, which passed Parliament by 76 to 43, called the climate change one of the greatest challenges of our time. True, noting that the devastating impact that volatile and extreme weather will have on New Zealand, as well as alarming trends in species decline. True. In those cases where we do issue declarations, it is often where there is a threat to life, a threat to property, civil defense emergencies are then said in Parliament. If we do not respond to climate change, we will continue to have these emergencies on our shores. True. And this is not just for New Zealand. This will affect everybody. New Zealand now joins 32 other countries that have declared a climate emergency that includes Japan, Canada, France, and the United Kingdom. Now, this means, like, declaring a climate emergency means absolutely nothing. Now, if these motions to get to carbon neutral by 5 years, by 8 years, or whatever the proposal is, I believe this one, 2025, is in 5 years. Now, if they get that in motion and actually deploy this in these 32 countries who have signed on to declare this a climate emergency and actually push for these type of changes, then it will be good. I'm just worried that it'll become performative, but it is good, you know, that we acknowledge this, yeah? Oh, I'm completely ignorant on international stuff. But I heard that there was a very, very the largest strike in the world, in India. I mean, Samwise, do you want to give us like the TLDR? Yeah, like I said, it could always possibly happen. I just don't see it, like, you know. I see it as plausible, but not possible. But yeah, Samwise, if you want to give us a quick rundown as to what is happening currently in India. I know that they're experiencing like the largest strike. I just want to know what triggered it against like the the far right Modi government. It's an effed up situation. I imagine if there's millions out there protesting. Oh man. Someone just seriously has nothing better to do. Ben, oh, that's the account that I was talking about. Ben Bleep Blop is a flop. Bleep Blop is a flop. Oh, yes, Ben, you're in chat. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So that you can experience this in real time. Yeah, I've been lurking. Yeah, I was talking about this. Like, imagine having the time and the energy to make random accounts or alternate accounts. This is probably like what, the fifth account that is a like troll against your channel, but then has the time and energy to come to another streamer's channel to troll about another streamer. Like, this is like beyond sad. The flop account is back, yeah. There are too many Ben hater accounts. No, this is probably one person. Carbon neutral is ridiculous because they don't do anything to reduce emissions. Instead, they offset emissions by planting a tree. And that tree gets mowed down for a construction project. Yeah, no. The issue is like, the issue is what this means in terms of actual policy, right? What does this mean in actual policy? Now, if New Zealand says, okay, we are going to move towards a carbon neutral public sector, meaning that we're going to try to stop emitting CO2, then that's a good idea. The main opposition National Party voted against Artist's motion, saying it was nothing but virtue signaling. Again, if there is no follow-up, then maybe that becomes reality. They don't even talk. I have like 3 Bleep Block sock accounts that constantly talk in my chat. This guy's name. Oh, it's. I know it's definitely one person. I know it's definitely one person because nobody has this much time. All right, it would be a wild coincidence if it's a bunch of different people. Stream analytics don't matter for political streamers. They can just partner after you reach enough show fans accounts. True. No problem. I didn't know you streamed. And Johnny Appleseed was ahead of his time. Well, I mean, like, so planting seeds isn't bad. Planting seeds is good. Getting reforestation efforts are good. However, people need to understand that in order for a tree to fully mature, it takes decades and decades. Like, did you all think that you plant a seed and the tree magically pops up and becomes a full adult tree or like fully grown tree in a matter of like weeks? No, this takes decades. And by that time, we've already done so much destruction, so much carbon emission that even just planting that one tree will just be completely negated. It's like, yeah, of course we should do these things simply because it's good, and we should do efforts to restore damaged ecosystems. But I'm just saying that that's thinking thinking that that's going to be the solution it's just not correct. Bamboo? Well, bamboo does grow fast, but I knew one guy from England who had 450 fake accounts and profiles and quote unquote many issues. ISP finally got him after 4 years. Jeez, 4 years to take down that alt accounts. It can do harm in making people think that by declaring an emergency that something has happened when it hasn't. That's again, I'm hoping that because you do this, it means you're actually going to take meaningful action. Otherwise, then yeah, it can actually do harm in making people think that you're doing something when you're not. That's the only concern I would have. I still would do this as a way of getting people to understand that this is a problem. Ardern will return to power in October by delivering the biggest election victory for her center-left Labour Party in half a century. Has called climate change the nuclear-free moment of our generation. In her first term, she passed zero carbon bill, which sets the framework for a net zero emissions by 2050 with an exemption for farming, and banned new offshore oil and gas exploration. Well, banning new offshore oil and gas exploration, good. So I'll say that this is good. But nearly half of New Zealand's greenhouse emissions come from agriculture, mainly methane. So you have an exemption for farming. I mean, okay. Yes, I think that hemp would be perfect. You can grow a lot, you can grow quickly, and you can use hemp for a bunch of things that you can replace. Plastics with. The government on Wednesday promised the public sector will achieve carbon neutrality by 2025. Government agencies would have to measure and report emissions and offset any they cannot cut by 2025. The program will be backed by 200 million New Zealand dollars, 200 million New Zealand dollar fund to finance replacing coal boilers and help purchase electric or hybrid vehicles. So again, this is like stopping your reliance on coal. It's good. I would say that you should move to try to completely go fossil fuel free in terms of like the energy sector, and you can probably do that by investing money in solar panels, which are now the cheapest form of alternative energy or renewable energy, hydroelectric, probably wind. They might be able to do wind, and in the places that they can't or it's just not possible, they could also think about nuclear. Zero carbon housing co-ops. Interesting. Yeah. When the house is on fire, there's no point in hitting the alarm without fighting the fire as well, said the Greenpeace agriculture climate campaigner Kate Simcock. Fighting the fire in New Zealand means tackling agriculture emissions. Right. Like if they're telling you that, or if you as the government know your highest emissions is in the agriculture section, you probably should address that at some point as well, right? You should probably address that. Critics also say that Ardern's government has not done enough to enhance New Zealand's clean green reputation since she took office in 2017. Climate Action Tracker, a science-led independent assessment service, rates New Zealand's climate policies as insufficient to meet its goals under the 2015. Wow, like, okay, so the first of all, the Paris Climate Accord was already as like milquetoast as possible, and if they're not even gonna be able to reach that, I mean, come on, man. In fact, the one criticism is pretty valid. Like, it's good that they're doing this, but like, you can't give people this false hope, I guess, or false sense of you doing something. Ideally with enough room on the roof or yard for greenhouses and growing plots. Oh, for hemp? Yeah, I would definitely be interested in seeing like if we can make a push for replacing our plastics with like hemp. I mean, we could do so much with hemp. It's very easy. Very quick, cheap. Hemp is extremely cheap. It's all good. I don't know what the argument would be against. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think of the multi-billion-dollar oil industry. I'm sorry, folks. I forgot. We have to take care of those people. I don't argue about landlords. Hey, Heat 420, how's it going? Hope you're doing alright. For hemp or just any food, went to my mom's house for the first time in months, got into an argument about landlords. Pot equals bad, okay? Okay, kids? It's slightly cheaper to make plastic out of oil, so there's no incentive to do hemp plastic under capitalism. Yeah, like that's largely because they've had a hold, because they're so powerful, and so so powerful they've gotten a hold of government subsidies and stuff. So yeah. Eliminate that, and maybe it won't be as cheap. But again, the level, because they've gotten so big and so influential, like they just crush anything like this, any movement like this. I mean, didn't they crush the hemp movement from like the very, very beginning? I believe even oh god, it was someone who actually made a thank you, Zeke. Timber industry shut down back in the day. That's right. Was an American business. Oh, one day I will hope. Was an American businessman, newspaper publisher, and politician known for developing the nation's largest newspaper chain and media company. Hearst Communications is from the method of yellow journalism influenced nation's popular media by emphasizing sensationalism and human interest stories. Wow. Jeez. Yeah, clearly. Wow. You ran a bunch of racist fake news stories about it? Fringe. First collaborated with Harry Anslinger to ban hemp due to the threat of the burgeoning hemp industry posed to his major investment and market share in the paper milling industry. Cool. Effectively, he ran what was known as like a tabloid. A tabloid to try to. Whoa, jeez, a tabloid to try to make money off sensationalism. It turns out, even back then, they had a even back then, because like just like today, that the media is incentivized to provide sensationalist articles and stuff like that to get the clicks. It's kind of like the same idea back then, right? They also will monetize the damage plastic has done to the environment either, and then make someone pay. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if we actually moved to this? This would be a lot better, I think. Oh my god, Jesus, that's scary. Stop it. What are you doing? Ooh, that scared the crap out of me. Since nations like the US and Australia have lifted their bans on growing hemp, a revolution is brewing. Innovators are taking up the gauntlet to cultivate this versatile plant for a medley of biodegradable materials, including plastic polymers, building products like fabrics, wood, biofuel, paper, and even car components. Wow. I know that there was this very, Is this some kind of pot guy channel? What are you talking about? The weeds. That's right. Hope you're doing alright, Old Growth Canopy. There was a very prominent he was like a pioneer of cars that actually made a hemp fuel for his cars. Can't remember who it was, but it was one of the pioneers of making cars. That's right, Alio. Oh. Act.tv rating with the party of 7. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, I appreciate that. Make sure you also check out their YouTube channel. They do great stuff. Okay. It's not new. The fiber from industrial hemp from the same species that as its cousin marijuana, but without the mind-altering THC, has been used for thousands of years to make paper. There you go. Rope, cloth, and fuel. Although still used in China and Europe, hemp went out of fashion by large as it was outlawed and replaced by plastic, cotton, fossil fuels, and other profitable products. But as their damage to the earth has reached crisis proportions, the race is on to produce sustainable alternatives. Hemp is a weed that grows prolifically with little water and no pesticides. It takes up relatively little space and produces more pulp per acre than trees, and is biodegradable. Hemp crops even give back by returning nutrients to the soil and sequestering carbon dioxide. Wow. Like, there's actually no downside. No real downside to try to, replace fossil fuels. Or at least like these plastics and stuff like that you can make with hemp, right? There's no reason to. Misinformed folk will insist it's the devil's lettuce, even though it's actually not. It's like its cousin, okay? But this is America. True. Oh my god. Not even once. Just hit the devil's lettuce and I'm on my 30 year now, expecting to die in a minute. Yes, it is. It is our individual right to be poisoned. Like, everything can be used. Hemp is more sustainable, organic, regenerative agriculture crop. And most everything you can make with cotton or soy or corn can be made with hemp, with way less impact on the earth. That's what I'm interested in. But yeah, so there you go, New Zealand. There's your answer right there. Hemp seeds are also superfood. Yeah. As we saw, it was very, very nutritious. It's high in omega-3, which is super good for you, by the way. Which could be a replacement for fish oil. I believe the reason why we are told to take fish oil is because of the high omega-3s. Well, here's a plant alternative that's sustainable. It's good for the environment and healthy. Fish oil is the only thing I take that isn't vegan. Well, hopefully if they can develop hemp omega-3 pills or something like that, or have it on your food, then technically you wouldn't even need that. Imagine that. That's right. Fauci said he's accepted Biden's offer to be the chief medical advisor on the spot. Wow. Like, not even, like, didn't even have to think about it. He was like, yep, just get this guy, like, just get this guy out of here. And hopefully the new incoming guy won't be as delusional. The government's top infectious disease expert, Anthony Fauci, said Friday he absolutely will accept the offer from President-elect Joe Biden to serve as chief medical advisor. That he said yes right on the spot. Oh man, imagine being that excited. Oh, there you go. It's wow. It's technically already been invented. Look at that. Why it matters. President Trump had a contentious relationship with Fauci, who has been forced during the pandemic to correct many of the president's false claims about the coronavirus. Biden, meanwhile, has emphasized the importance of listening to the scientists throughout his campaign and transition. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, this is true. Oh, I know it's a thing, but can't afford it. Ooh. Biden's decision to praise and hire Fauci not only continues the contrast he is trying to create with President Trump, who's talked about firing the doctor, but also shows the calibrated media exposure the president-elect and his team are using to control the message and instill public calm. Biden said in an interview with CNN's Jake Tapper on Thursday night that on Inauguration Day, he will ask Americans to wear a mask for 100 days, not forever, as a patriotic duty to help curb the spread of the virus until a vaccine is widely available. Gee, imagine that.
So so you think Nick Saban really has COVID?
Yes. No. Let's go.
That sucks. After the election, COVID will be gone.
Yeah, but the election already happened.
Oh no.
Fuck the election. Fuck Sleepy Joe. Trump 2020.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm on that Omega 420.
I think it's real, but maybe a little bit over-exaggerated.
We're in Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl, Auburn, Alabama, one of the greatest rivalries in
It
American
gets so
sports.
much worse.
In the middle of a pandemic.
For it to be so dead, it's just mind-blowing. Like, it's so crazy to me.
But what's it usually like out here?
Oh my God. So all of this is flooded. Tents and tents and tents and tents and tents of people just out here. And like even on this street, it's like usually covered with vendors, and like there's no vendors. This is literally the epitome of 2020 right here. Like just a dead year.
Come down from Iowa visiting my sister.
Go Hawks.
Go fucking Hawks. We have no fans at our games. It's a lot different down here. They keep it rolling down in the South, okay? And that's why I like coming down here.
Roll Tide!
Fuck the Tide!
Bill Belichick is my father and Nick Saban is my uncle.
What?
War Eagle, never heard of her. Sorry, bye.
Daughter right there.
I'm head coach Nick Saban has tested positive for COVID-19, and according to the school, very mild symptoms. But Saban will miss Saturday's Iron Bowl.
You don't think he's scared of Auburn?
Oh, no, hell no.
100% no.
Why would you be scared of Auburn?
No. We're gonna smoke.
Nick Saban's a pussy.
Whoa.
Oh
No,
god.
hey, he's an Auburn fan. I'm an imposter. I don't want to get my ass beat at this bar.
He's definitely scared of Auburn.
Just scared.
No.
Honestly, I think he's got AIDS.
I think he's probably
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think he's scared.
I don't think COVID is a threat. I want life to go back to normal. I think that this is just a political hoax to make America communist. Nobody
A
here is afraid
political
to get it.
hoax
We
to
want
make
have
America
our parties
communist. That's
back
right.
to normal. We want
Here, I'll show you the political hoax right here. That's the political hoax. Right here.
want to enjoy the college experience, not sit in our dorms afraid of what is going to happen to us. Because I'm not afraid to get a common cold. I get that
Common
all the
cold.
time. I don't have much else to say about it.
Is it sad?
A common cold.
It's sad. It's definitely sad, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do. And like to end the pandemic, you got to do it.
There's concerns with COVID. Everybody's got some concerns with it, but I think it's overplayed a little bit. There's a lot of negatives that are going on with shutdowns too.
If you're sick, don't come.
Where did you get the robes?
Mine was found in a pyramid in Egypt. His was from Dollar General.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah, that was it. Dollar General.
Dollar General. Which one?
Auburn.
There were 12 of these made in the 80s by a roommate of mine's mother.
Why?
How do you feel about golf? You fuck with golf? The sport? You don't like golf?
Hell yeah.
You fuck with golf?
Yeah, I like fuck with condoms.
Oh
I like Tiger
no.
Woods. I love a cheater.
No. Yeah. Hey, can we get like? Can we take a second to appreciate the little bit of irony here? He just said, "I appreciate cheaters," and these are the people screaming Trump 2020.
I do that. That's all I gotta say. Hey, what do you think about climate change?
These are some more fireball questions I need. Then I can answer these.
Yeah, this is Donald Trump and Nick Saban, the two most important men in the state of Alabama. The only two men that matter.
He's not saying anything.
He's already said it all.
Bear Bryant, you happy with the results of the election?
It is cringe.
Apparent result of the election?
We're still waiting. I guess we'll see.
I mean, I'd prefer to see it go the other way, but this is what the country voted for.
I think that our country will end up being stable with either president. And now that Biden's elected, we'll be fine. So we're all good.
Definitely not who I wanted to settle for, but at this point, anything is better than Trump to me. And that's my own personal opinion, but
You a Bernie bro?
a little bit. I think he'd be great, but
Interesting. Interesting. Like the one person wearing like a mask. Like, it's just like Mark said in his manifesto. Just pretend there's a virus.
Is your generation too woke?
We don't sleep. We're way we're woke. We need to start sleeping. We need to start sleeping for real. Need some melatonin or something.
No. I think this is
No, it's not for game day.
This is like liberal media, though.
No, this is a YouTube show.
He knows. He fucking knows. Get out.
The interview
People
doesn't
our
even
age,
wear the mask.
people that were
His
Biden
mask will wear
supporters,
correctly.
when they
True.
heard Trump supporters, they just
Oh,
called
well,
them
no, he's
foolish and
wearing
like
it.
terrible people. People that are Trump supporters called Biden supporters just foolish and terrible people. So there's a lot of just hate.
How are we gonna fix that?
I think that people need Jesus. Because personally, I'm a
Oh,
Christian.
no.
When
No,
you have
no,
a
no,
relationship
no,
with Jesus,
no.
you have an idea of respect, and you have an idea, like a sense of that kind of thing.
I think we need love. We can respect each other's ideas without agreeing with them.
Okay. So, I'm pretty sure I don't have to go over why that's like a really ridiculous question, statement. Now, what you can say or take from that is that it would be nice if we had more empathy in this world, right? It would be nice if, and when I mean empathy, I mean genuine empathy, genuine care for what happens to your neighbor, or just to your, to your neighbor, yeah. Like Colonel West says, like we have to have genuine empathy. I don't know about that statement, what she said, but hey, I guess that's what I can say to take, or what I can take from that.
And so it's like an agree to disagree.
Jesus
and I
can
think that's
cure
so hard for our
COVID.
generation to realize.
Auburn's a shithole, you're a fucking loser.
Right, civility politics.
It's a Jimmy's and Joe's type thing. If you don't have the athletes, then you can't compete. So they're not.
Yeah, I'm not talking about civility politics. I'm talking about
Jimmy's
genuine
and Joe's. You don't have the Jimmy's
empathy.
and Joe's. They compete.
Just the players.
The players.
What do you think about the boomer generation? What's up with them? What's going on with the boomers?
That's vague. What's up with them?
Communist Jesus could bring us together.
I don't even know what that is.
The baby boomers. What about the boomers? What are we gonna do with them?
Wear your mask right.
Kids these days, like the college kids, have a better worldview than the baby boomers.
I just think they have a wider access to like just more of the world thanks to the internet and social media and stuff. You just get more exposure.
Can the human brain handle all that exposure?
Oh, absolutely not. I think we've proven that. It's just collapsing all in on us.
We just kind of adapted to technology a lot better, I guess. I'm not sure. That's what the world runs on nowadays. I'd say y'all are more hardworking though. Y'all
You really think that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Because I feel like it's a little bit. I think it was given.
I like this
a little
emote.
bit easier to us than it was to y'all.
I think that the younger generation has too much entitlement. Yeah, I think that we feel like we deserve everything when we don't. We don't work for anything.
What about our country? We have too much entitlement.
With Joe Biden, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. If we keep the Senate, they'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. We've been around a long time. Hopefully everybody will have a job. Yeah. And we'll be working for ourselves, not China.
I think
Not China. Oh no. Oh, if they only knew.
Make it through. We can always fight through it.
Are you guys happy with the result of the election, the apparent result of the election, or?
It is what it is. I'm not sure. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Can't let it get you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I voted.
I'm not 18, he is.
Yeah.
You're not 18?
No.
Our country is going to be okay. We just need to work together. Wear your mask. Everyone wear your mask.
Do you see the
Wow.
Republicans looting right now?
Wow. That's probably like the most like important statement in this past 6 minutes and 50 cents. 6 minutes and 50 cents. Clip and shit, boys. 6 minutes and 50 seconds is wear your mask.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No tea, no shade.
We're gonna be all right.
This is America. We're gonna be fine. It's the greatest country in the world. Look around. It could not be better. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm
happy to be here too.
It's game day. Hey.
Do you
talking to
even?
I'm talking to you.
Hey, shout out to my mom. Did you predict the score?
Oh no, they do much better. No, they do much better. They just let people die. They do much better. They just let people die. Fauci said that he spoke with Biden about that suggestion and told him that it was a good idea, but clarified that mask wearing may still be needed after the 100 days. Yeah, just make sure, yeah, I'm glad he like immediately said that. It's like, look, I get the sentiment. However, we may still need to do this afterwards. Like, again, this is the nation's top infectious disease expert. I'm going to go ahead and say, if the consensus says you need to wear a mask, then that's what we'll do. On the vaccine front, Fauci said, told NBC, as we get into January, February, March, more people will be able to get vaccinated. So now is it time to hang in there and not give up? Cool. This is a cautiously optimistic statement from Dr. Fauci. And be more firm in his diction. Yeah, he said that, we may need this after the 100 days. It may be coming, soft from the the Trump era around midnight. Oh, speaking of looting, if you live in Georgia or know anybody that lives in Georgia, please pay attention to the Senate runoffs. So as Thirst first pointed out, speaking of looting, David Perdue bought Pfizer stocks a week before the vaccine was announced. Yeah. Not to mention all of Kelly Loeffler's dubious dealings as well. You guys ever hear a relative with polarizing ideals from you and contemplate whether you're related to this person? Like, well, I mean, these aren't. These aren't polarizing ideas. These, like, again, empathy, like genuine empathy. Like, what do you mean they should be kicked out to the street? Like, don't you care about people? That's how I would try to address. That's how I would try to address it. It's like, hey, this affects all of us. This affects all of us. It turns out, people getting kicked out of their homes, people losing their jobs, people having no access to healthcare. I mean, Kelly Loeffler's proof that God exists and has a sense of humor. It shows how divided we are. My first words out of my the first words that came out of my father-in-law's when I first met him was, "We need to find a way to control these N-words." Okay. Wow. Jeez. Oh, also okay, I see, but it shows how divided we are. Yeah. I know, Homelander. I know. Yep. I just try and be flippantly anti-capitalist and keep smashing atrocities in her face and uncasual. Yeah, like what I do is I try to speak to them as much as possible, whether or not I end up doing anything. It's, is irrelevant. But hey, it's been year 4. No, I'll say about year 3, and I'm getting them to understand that like climate change is like actually a problem. I know, Homelander. I know. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, just because you have, what's going on with my music? Do we have music? Hello? Hmm. Like, what did you think caused it then? Yeah, like the thing with climate change is like I actually have to very, very, as much as possible, like try to talk to them about studies and things how and how things will actually affect us, because I live like in South Florida, so. Just move forehead, right? Well, the problem with using religion or trying to use their religion against them, it's like it's not logical, and especially in like the Abrahamic religions, it's not logical. Okay, it doesn't have to make sense. They can just twist it around and say something else in response to it. It doesn't have to make sense. Right, not only that, Homelander, it's just like these remember, they know, or supposedly they know their belief very well, so they can always like point to something else and saying like, well, actually I interpreted this verse this and this way, so actually you're the one that's wrong for trying to quote the Bible to me. So I don't know if it works. Sometimes it might. The best example of how to use religion effectively is probably, honestly, Dr. Cornel West. I think it's like she finally was swayed into believing that climate change has changed over history, and obviously it will change, but there's no way to prove it. So it's just hard to. Yeah, I don't even know how you would. Yeah, no, it's always like it's very hard, and again, it's taking years for me at least to just try to get the idea that maybe there's something wrong here. Maybe there's something wrong with the planet and how it's affecting us. And I am making headway in this in that manner. Now, if I can just get them on healthcare, because it's so hard. It's so hard. But hey, Stupka, how's it going? And then just forced Jarvis to assimilate. What are we talking about today? All the things. Yeah, I mean, I would just say like, hey, if it gets to the point where you actually can't make any headroom, or any headway, I should say, I would just say this. Hey, I have some concerns with some of the stuff you've been talking about. If you really want to get into it, then talk to me. I'll leave the door open. And just leave it at that. If it's to the point where like it's just not happening, because instead of trying to make them more entrenched in their positions, I would just like kind of back off and say, hey, I have some concern about some of the stuff you've been talking about. some of the stuff that doesn't make sense with science, and if you ever want to talk about it for real, my door's open, or my ear's open. Call me, that's the only way, because obviously if they're entrenched in their positions, it's not gonna move. You just let them know that, hey, I have some issues with the stuff you've been saying. How about we talk about it? If you ever do, hit me up. This is cathartic. I think we're all I think we're all having an intervention about how shitty our relatives are. Yeah, like I said, it's like these people are here and they exist. Sometimes they're our family, sometimes they're our neighbors. So it's like it's gotta be dealt with, right? It's gotta be dealt with at some point. So I don't know. I just think that it's very simple. If they want to, they'll be the ones to reach out to you. In terms of like having a discussion, right? I feel like this is one of my couples therapy session. I mean, but seriously, that's how you, generally speaking, that's how you get people to, open up. Sometimes, if they're willing, they'll come to you, and you just got to give them that option and be like, hey, you know what? If you really want to talk about it and you really want to know what I think, and you're here to, if you really want to have a conversation and listen to what I have to say and why I think some of the stuff you've said about, like, I don't know, climate change is concerning, then hey, call me, message me, email me, Zoom me, whatever, technology you guys have to communicate. How do we keep each other's family's silly religion away from our kids? Well, they're your kids, are they not? I mean, sometimes it says, there you go. Sometimes it's, hey, listen, I don't, I will raise my children how I want. And again, you really want to have a discussion, actually, let's talk about it. My thoughts in general subject are inoculate the kids by introducing bad ideas in controlled context, where the believers get a chance to. This is my approach to combating disinformation in general. Wait. But I have family members filled with all kinds of bad ideas, and my thoughts on the general subject are inoculate the kids by introducing the bad ideas in a controlled context before believers get a chance. Wait. Bad ideas? Oh, I see. Okay. So, okay, interesting. I mean, like, kids are like sponges. They'll get it. That's right, Homelander. Should scientists artificially cool the planet to save off climate catastrophe? Geoengineering. Some climate scientists are coming to believe it's humanity's only hope for slowing or stopping the disastrous changes in the climate as runaway carbon dioxide emissions contribute to melting ice caps, widespread flooding, prolonged heat waves, droughts, apocalyptic wildfires, i.e. see California, and devastating hurricanes, see the eastern coast. Researchers are exploring a planetary scale intervention that would in Earth's natural system as a way of counteracting climate change. Geoengineering has been debated since the 60s when scientists suggested floating billions of white golf-like objects in the oceans to reflect sunlight. Interfering in natural processes was widely considered as naive and dangerous until recently, but as the window to curb global warming shrinks, proposals to reflect sunlight, shade Earth's surface, accelerate carbon absorptions in our oceans, remove CO2 from the air, being taken more seriously. I mean, like this is some like last resort. This tells me if this is true, and like scientists, well, this is December 6th. This is yesterday. If scientists are really reaching this conclusion because there is no real palpable movement in terms of like getting governments to get together in an international like effort to combat climate change, this kind of tells me it's like, listen, we are approaching a desperate level. Desperate level. Geez, sorry, Homelander. No worries. Yep. Stopka. That's pretty funny. No, I'm not talking about like trying to explain climate change to a 4-year-old. I'm just saying, like, I get what Dorian was saying. But back to this article, it is telling me that if this is true, if scientists are getting together and saying, oh man, we do not have time, nobody's doing anything, in order for us to actually make this, we need to do we need to do drastic measures like trying to geoengineer our planet. Oh look, right here. I didn't even have to go that far. Here we go. In October, Silver Lining, a nonprofit, gave $3 million towards climate engineering research. I liken geoengineering to chemo. Wow. A professor of environmental and climate law at Columbia University. If all else is failing, then you try it. So in other words, this is I mean, just reading from the beginning here, this reeks of like desperation. It means that the scientists are extremely concerned. Famous last year, it won't happen to us. Oh, geez, thirst first. Yeah, that's right, Snoopka. That's a perfect solution. We just get all the robots to point their exhaust in the same direction to push us away from the sun. Okay, but have we tried continuing to ignore it? I think we just need to try harder. No. Oh man. Have we tried continuing ignoring like a serious problem? Maybe it will go away if you just close your eyes. I like this first suggestion. It blasts more contaminants into the atmosphere. I mean, if the best plan is to dump a bunch of stuff in the ocean to reflect sunlight, we're pretty apt. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It reeks of desperation. It means like the scientists have gotten together and said, wait, the time we have left is running out. Seems like we don't have a serious movement in terms of like, politicians or leaders around the world getting together and kind of trying to address this issue in terms of climate change. We can't even get it together with COVID. I mean, jeez. Hey, George Soros Burner. Like the username. I pretend I do not see it, therefore it doesn't exist. We could start a Dyson swarm of satellites that could block some of the sunlight. Oh man, I mean, like, all jokes aside, this is like not good, folks. What are plausible proposals? Silver Linings Grant recipients are researching whether humans can blast sunlight reflecting aerosol particles in the atmosphere. Hey, didn't we have a movie about this? I'm pretty sure we've had movies about this as to why this is a bad idea. I'm pretty sure we've had movies as to why this is a bad idea. Oh my god. Yeah. Matt Groening has all the best ideas, true. Now, what movie is this? With the train. With the train, help me out, chat. It was by the director that made Parasite. And, oh, good lord. The name of that movie that was, that they were all in a train going around the world. Snowpiercer. Thank you. Thank you, Tiasi? Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, like, we've literally had a movie about this as to why this is, like, a bad idea. But okay. In 1991, Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines erupted, spewing sulfate particles into the atmosphere that caused global temperatures to drop 0.6 degrees Celsius over the next 2 years. Solar radiation management could also involve sending fleets of airplanes up to 65,000 feet, where they'd spray sulfate aerosols into the upper atmosphere, or perhaps even diamond dust. A research team at Harvard University said if high-altitude tankers had the capacity to make 60,000 particle dumps by 2035, it would shave off 0.3 degrees. Well, 0.3 isn't enough, isn't it? What else is being explored? Another idea is to pump salt water from oceans into the air, forming water droplets that would make marine clouds brighter, thus more reflective. Australia is funding research hoping enhanced clouds could cool water temperatures enough to save the already damaged Great Barrier Reef. Jeez. Waterword? I gotta check that one out. Anytime I hear diamond dust, I think about how we never had it when we need it in D&D. Other researchers wonder whether seeding oceans with iron... What? Seeding oceans with iron could stimulate the growth of marine algae? Wait, but... Okay, so... There are repercussions to changing the ocean in this manner. Stimulate the growth of marine algae, which soaks up CO2 from the air, which is true. Marine algae is actually extremely important when it comes to this. For now, solar radiation management is thought to be scientifically the sturdiest candidate. We know with 100% certainty that we can cool the planet. Where we get the iron first of all, yeah, I know. And how do we get it? Doesn't that burn? Like, there's so many repercussions to think about. Yeah, it like this works in theory. In theory, if you could manage to do some of these things, it could theoretically, on paper, based on whatever models, then yeah, they can definitely do this, but what are the repercussions and how? The scientists say that we can definitely cool the earth, walks away muttering under his breath about the repercussions. Right. And like, imagine like dumping iron into the ocean. you know, yeah, this is some big yikes desperation. Yeah, that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like this seems like they are worried. It seems to me like they're worried. It's more like sprinkling iron dust. I see. Scientists have considered taking out ticks, but they're worried about the domino effect that would have on certain environments. Right. This is like introducing an invasive species to control another invasive species, and then like it becomes out of control, and they were like, then they're like surprised Pikachu face when one of them becomes a dominant species. Like, you didn't think about the repercussions. Yeah, this like Stupka says, this reeks of like super desperation, which tells me that the situation might be actually a little bit dire. The situation is a little bit more dire than we thought. Like putting roaches on Mars to heat it up, and then the roaches turn into super beings that threaten human supremacy. What scares me about this article is that if it falls into the wrong hands, we view these options as it's fine. Deniers could look at this and say they can continue to do nothing because there is a backup plan. Yeah, without understanding what said backup plan means. Said backup plan means like, listen, we don't even know what this means, okay? But that's basically it, right? It's the same with the vaccine. People think it's COVID. It's not worried about it because there's a vaccine coming out, right? And yeah, meanwhile we're still having like thousands of hospitalizations, you know, thousands of dead. That's basically the attitude of, like, sadly, that's basically the attitude, the vibe I'm getting from this article of how the scientists must feel, right? Right, Stupka? It's like this article, like, basically, like, a whole bunch of scientists got together and were like, listen, bro, screw it. I don't know. We might as well try to, like, change our planet in that way, or screw it. We're gonna try to cool it because apparently nobody can seem to get it together and figure out a sustainable solution to this. So it just seems like scientists are like scared and worried, and are just like, we've only been telling you this decades. We've only been talking about this since like the 60s or even earlier. Meddling with Mother Nature is risky. Earth's weather systems are interconnected in extremely complex ways, which is why climate change is believed to impact everything from how long hurricanes linger over coastlines to how fast wildfires accelerate. Tinkering with one aspect of weather could have dangerous, unforeseen ripple effects. Wow, cool. It's wasn't that exactly what I was talking about a couple seconds ago? 2 years ago, Nature called geoengineering outlandish and unsettling. Could blocking sunlight, for example, impact the Asian monsoon, which 2 billion people depend on for food crops, or alter the ocean's acidity, which would be catastrophic. If you alter the ocean's acidity, that's a problem. Do you not have work today? No, I took today off, folks. I took today off. How else am I supposed to hang out with you guys, huh? No, I'm kidding, but I do enjoy the day off and the ability to actually spend a little more time with you guys. We've had so many hurricanes this year. It's wild. Yeah, and each hurricane season is unprecedented. Each hurricane season is worse. Each hurricane season has new breaking thresholds, right? We keep breaking records every season. Just ask the Gulf Coast. For geoengineering to be politically feasible, scientists would have to convince ordinary people that it's worth the calculated risk. Last year, Harvard sought to send a balloon to the stratosphere over Tucson in order to release a small amounts of calcium carbonate, chalk, to test whether reflective particles could block some sunlight, but public outcry forced the experiment to be postponed. Plus, tornado valleys changing to areas that aren't prepared for it. Yeah. Yep. Is safety the only concern? No. Some climate activists argue that geoengineering serves as a get out of jail free panacea that would allow carbon emitting corporations to conduct business as usual. They argue that no technological breakthrough would eliminate the long term need to abandon fossil fuels. Raymond Pierre Huber, a Nobel Prize winning professor at Oxford University, compares relying on geoengineering without cutting emissions to jumping off to the Washington Monument and hoping somebody invents anti-gravity before you hit the ground. Right. Again, this is not a really feasible outcome. If it comes down to it, then we are screwed beyond. If it really comes down to this, then we are screwed beyond screwed. Where do most scientists stand? The global failure to make major emission cuts is causing many experts. That's right, Stuka. That's right. The global failure to make major emission cuts is causing many experts to reconsider that's telling me that the scientists are like desperate. They're like, geez, we're not making any headway in terms of cutting fossil fuels. We're not making any headway into programs or international accords to get this working. I mean, compare with the massive financial consequences of global warming, the estimated $2 billion annual price tag to develop solar engineering over 15 years is quite inexpensive. Yeah. I mean, we dumped trillions into the stock market because in March, an Australian team conducted one of the engineering trials with using 100 nozzles to enhance existing clouds by blasting salt water into the air. In theory, it would take about 1,000 nozzles to save the entire Great Barrier Reef from dying off. People are right to fear over-reliance on techno fixes, said Harvard professor David Keith. But there's another nightmare. We realize in hindsight that early use of geoengineering could have saved millions of lives lost in heat waves and helped preserve some of the natural world. I don't know. Sucking carbon out of the air. The UN's IPCC says that the world must remove 1 trillion tons of carbon by 2100 to have any hope of avoiding that 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming. A proposed solution, carbon capture, takes two forms: removing CO2 directly from emissions of power plants and other industrial facilities, or scrubbing it from the atmosphere. At least 19 large-scale projects worldwide are working to capture CO2 from smokestacks at coal or natural gas plants. The system was created in 2017 at a Texas coal plant, but shut down this May because it captured just 17% of emissions, not the targeted 33%. The most ambitious plan for carbon capture involves installing pipes to suck carbon out of the sky and then store it deep underground. That might be a good idea. Neither, Elio. I used to watch the Venture Bros, but I have not seen the Venture Bros in years. They've been getting worse each year, maybe not in their intensity, but there's always been the big one. I was supposed to be directly hit by one that skimmed the coast of Florida last year. And my place was on the intercoastal. Yeah, I know. We were under, the path of a few that looked really, really sus. George Soros. I don't know how that would work, Astrum. What if you make engines run off carbon compression than oxygen compression? I am not scientifically savvy enough to understand that. I did see, however, that they invented a actual ion-propelled aircraft. Who knows if that's fossil fuel free. Who knows if they'll be able to really capitalize on that. But still, the process remains very expensive. Stripe, a startup company, enables companies and individuals to contribute money to fund carbon removal as means of getting the technology off the ground. Okay. It takes a long time to develop carbon removal. This is not Snapchat. Yeah. So basically, we have to move in that direction. I think it's probable, or it's better, if we stop subsidizing fossil fuels and move to subsidize this type of technology. And go carbon negative. As you guys probably know, the House passed a historic bill to decriminalize cannabis. This is a great step forward. So for some good news, right? As cannabis industry continues to take root state by state, takes root state by state, the House of Representatives voted in favor of removing marijuana from the Federal Controlled Substance Act. The House voted on Friday on the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or MORE Act, which decriminalizes cannabis and clears the way to erase non-violent federal marijuana convictions. The Senate is unlikely to approve the bill. Now, maybe, if they win the Georgia runoffs, maybe. I wouldn't hold my breath, but maybe. The MORE Act also creates a pathway for ownership opportunities in the emergent industry, allows veterans to obtain medical cannabis recommendations from Veteran Affairs. Like, this is all good. Like, this is all just benefits. And even for veterans, even for, like, you know, for business, and establishes a funding sources to reinvest in communities disproportionately affected by the war on drugs. Yeah, like, this would be a huge step forward to try to stop or end the war on drugs. Friday's vote was the first time a full chamber of Congress has taken up the issue of federally decriminalizing cannabis. Of the vote count, 222 Democrats were in favor of passing the MORE Act and 6 were against it. The 5 Republicans voted in favor, 158 voted against passing it. It's the right thing to do, said co-sponsor of the MORE Act, Representative Errol Blumenauer, co-chair of the Congressional Cabinet. I didn't even know there was a Congressional Cannabis Caucus prior to the Friday vote. For too long, the war on drugs has targeted young people, especially black people, and rejected the advice of experts. Yeah, it doesn't work. The drug war is dumb. Blumenauer, whose congressional district includes parts of Portland, has been working to end cannabis prohibition since the 1970s. When he was in the legislature, he said that the drug war never made any sense to him, and it was instead born out of President Nixon's cynical view on cannabis and controlled substances. True. Nixon declared a war on drugs in the early 70s, calling drug abuse public enemy number one. Following the rise of recreational drugs in the 60s, he aimed to reduce use, distribution, and trade with tough enforcement and prison sentences. Blumenauer said that unlike heroin and ecstasy, both of which are also Schedule I drugs, cannabis is not addictive and has been found to have therapeutic properties for managing pain. Research from the Centers of Disease Control, Prevention, and other organizations indicate that marijuana can be indeed addictive. Public acceptance is at an all-time high. This is an idea whose time has come. Cannabis won big on election day last month. Voters in 5 states, Arizona, New Jersey, Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Mississippi, approved measures to legalize some form of marijuana use. Now 15 states, 2 territories, and Washington D.C. have legalized recreational cannabis, while 34 states and 2 territories allow medical marijuana. Yeah, this is almost like the majority. Cannabis won the drug war. That's right. We all know, like, you know, we all know that that's what happened, Dorian. Tell Papa Soros my small loan of $1 million right now. For decades, discriminatory cannabis policies have perpetuated yet another form of systemic racism in America, and this legislation will begin the process of restorative justice for those most harmed. Representative Barbara Lee of California, who co-sponsored the bill with Blumenauer. Yeah, I mean, just like in general, it should just be ended, right? Like the war on drugs is terrible. There's no purpose to it. There's no actual legitimate purpose to stigmatizing, to villainizing, to criminalizing. Unless there's something behind it. Because like there's no logical reason why, in my opinion. Can the USA work together? We did, mostly after 9/11. Yeah, but that's for other reasons. If we legalized weed nationwide, we're going to see some very potent strains too. Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I just think that there's like so much good can come out of this. So much good can come out of this. Hey, whose username? McConnell's gonna stopgap it though? Maybe. McConnell has, what, hundreds of bills on his desk? I think maybe winning the Georgia Senate. I mean, the Georgia Senate runoffs is important. I still need state legalization. Hot take, McConnell is a dick. That's not a hot take. I'm not falling for that one. I will call you master batters. So, the moral of this story, conclusion, is, hey, we should just end the war on drugs, okay? We should just do it. I'm a conservative, so I just want someone to debate with. Well, I'm not really a debate bro. Not really like a debater. There's no war on drugs, only a war on people. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying the name or the colloquial term war on drugs. I'm just saying. Yeah, Dylan Burns, that's right. Oh man, one of these days I would love to get on his panel. One of these days. But I'm not, generally speaking, not really like a debate bro, debate person. Just panels sound exhausting. Sometimes they can be, but sometimes they're very productive. Debate that. I was actually going to go on last Friday, but the person he found for me, we actually ended up just agreeing. Well, it's like, why would that be a problem? Listen, I like what Dylan does, but like, why would that be a problem? You know? Shouldn't it be like, hey, despite whatever other differences. Turns out reality is reality, and when we're speaking about, I'm sure like COVID is what your like main thing is. I'm sure that, hey, it turns out like facts don't care about politics. Maybe it's a good idea to illustrate that it transcends. Maybe it's a good thing that showing, like displaying that to the public, that it's about reality, not politics. I think that it would be a good idea. Not even frame it necessarily as a debate. You don't even have to frame it as a debate round midnight. It's like, it's just like the concept of facts, the concept of objective reality, of science, transcends politics. I don't know, I think it's because he wanted a demon mama redneck type of thing. Oh, like the, like blood sports, right? Hey, but not gonna lie, gets the clicks. That gets the people going. I hate live debate. It really doesn't accomplish what it's supposed to. Yeah, sometimes I feel that way, Dorian, so I like rarely involve myself in real debates. Like, I'll talk to people individually, I'll have discussions with people individually and see if I can maybe change, but hey, I'm not gonna make a public spectacle about it. I agree with you, I was happy to still do the debate, but I guess it wasn't what he wanted. Yeah, I'm hoping Dylan Burns does that, because I think it's important, especially with the with the framing of like, hey, maybe these things can transcend politics. It would be important, but you know, I know that's the aim, but it's still, I don't think it's effective, at least not cost effective. Maybe so. There's a reason why scientific disputes aren't settled with a live debate. That's right. That's a good point. But yeah, like obviously, if you do debate, the idea would be that you're, number one, super prepared with what you're going to talk about. Number two, it mostly is about the audience and how the performance goes, how the audience feels about you, right? And that's my problem with it. That's why I don't engage in actual like debate. No, we're all friends here. In fact, I think probably you two should speak. I think you two should speak in DMs. I think you both would have a good conversation. I think both of you should have a good conversation, a good private conversation. I think both of you have a lot of stuff to talk about. But I agree, it's a slim margin of change minds. Yeah. And even then, like, sometimes you don't even do what you think you're gonna, like, end up doing. Oh man, infuriating. Stupka, that is infuriating. Imagine preparing for a debate, doing hours of research, and then, like, all of that means nothing at the end of the day because it's just, like, how you did in the performance. ADT wants us to debate about debating about whether or not debating is worthwhile. Yeah, no, I know, Stoop. I'm just saying, like, not have a debate. I'm saying have a conversation. I believe both of you would have a very, very good productive conversation. I still need to figure out how I can get Stupka one of these days on stream as well. Last time I did a debate in stream, it was a waste of time because the random guest was debating for fun without realizing the topics affected most of the stream viewers directly and not hypothetically. Jeez. then what's the point if you don't care about it? Debate isn't about facts, it's about optics, confidence, and rhetoric. Yeah, a lot of it is. The facts help illustrate the rhetorical picture that you're trying to do. That's why you bring up articles, that's why you bring up research and science. That's all right wingers and prepared debate. They either derail or try to debate. Like, well, you don't have all the answers either because they're just playing a weird game. Yeah. So, like, it's the sports mentality, right? This is stuff that happened during the weekend that I didn't get to cover. I think this is a good step. You know, Democrats push abolition amendment to fully erase slavery from the U.S. Constitution. As the nation grapples with the issue of racial injustice and social inequality, lawmakers of Capitol Hill are pushing to remove the so-called slavery loophole in the U.S. Constitution. With the adoption and ratification of the 13th Amendment 155 years ago, the practice of slavery formally ended in this country, but it did not strip all away of involuntary servitude. That's right. I'm pretty sure this person was also involved in the decriminalizing bill. I think this was the same person pushing for the decriminalization of marijuana. No American should ever be subject to involuntary servitude, even if they are incarcerated. I think that's true. The reason why I have a problem with this is because, like, we know that corporations outsource a lot of labor to the private prison, industry, and that's cringe. That's cringe. First of all, the idea that there's private prisons in the first place is like beyond me. And like, second of all, you can outsource some of your labor as a corporation to inmates. I mean, it just don't gel with my moral code. So I'm glad that they're gonna move to remove that part. Just keep in mind that, again, this has to go through the Senate as well. So who knows? All right, so we got new news on now finally getting to the more updated news. After a weekend of catching up, Javier Becerra nominated by the Biden administration to lead Department of Health and Human Services. All right, let's take a look. President-elect Joe Biden is nominating California Attorney General Javier Becerra to serve as his first Secretary of Health and Human Services. His transition team said in a press release early Monday, and oversee a sprawling department to set and play a leading role in the distribution of COVID vaccine and would be tasked to help build public trust in it. Mr. Biden's other choices for key public health roles were also announced in this release, including Dr. Vivek Murthy to be Surgeon General, Rochelle Walensky to be Director of CDC, Dr. Marcella Nunez-Smith to be the COVID Equity Task Force Co-Chair, Dr. Anthony Fauci to be Chief Medical Advisor, I like that, Jeff Zients to be Counselor to the President and Coordinator of the COVID-19 response, And Natalie Willian to be deputy coordinator of the COVID-19 response. Becerra, 62, has served as California's top prosecutor since 2017 when he succeeded now Vice President-elect Kamala Harris to the role. He served in Congress more than 20 years and was seen as a potential House Speaker. Oh, okay, so this is important. This person also said Becerra's ability to speak Spanish fluently helped him explain and defend vaccination programs to parts of the Latino community that primarily speak Spanish in ways other public officials cannot. I think having proper communication to people is extremely important. Not only that, he'd be the first Latino person. Becerra was also to be under consideration to succeed Harris in the Senate or to serve as Mr. Biden's first Attorney General. Wait. He has no medical training or experience in public health. But why would you nominate him for the Secretary of Health and Human Services? Wait. I get that this is good. But wait, I'm gonna have to reread this. Why isn't he the Attorney General then? He's a lawyer. Okay. Alright. Hold on. A debate is much better intentioned and structured than an argument. True. I had to spend a couple of hours debating COVID deniers in chat, so I get a bit triggered easily. Trust me, midnight, the longer you do this, the easier it is. Right. Either way, I'm glad you guys can understand each other. That's what I'm saying. I think deep down, you guys actually might have a good conversation. I'm still having trouble processing this, so wait a minute. Becerra is nominated by Biden to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. Okay, that's cool. He's a Latino. That's cool. He speaks Spanish, so he'll be able to convey information. That's cool. But, like, he's an attorney. Like, I would expect somebody to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services to... Why don't you put, like, Fauci? Or, like, make one of these people... Look, the Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy. That seems right. That seems right. A doctor being the Surgeon General. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know if I could buy this as a Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's going to pick people he feels can speak comfortably to the press. Okay. I mean, like, if that's what the job entails, like, to be, like, a public communications team as part of the COVID response, then I agree. If the idea is to be people that can speak comfortably to the press and clearly and relay important information, then maybe I can agree. Does Fauci want another type of job? Some doctors don't communicate well. You maybe, but I think Fauci's fine where he is. In fact, he immediately accepted when Joe Biden asked him to stay back in the same position. Right? So if it's a matter of getting like the communications, then maybe I can like be just fine with this. But like having the title of like Health and Human Services, you might kind of want someone who knows Health and Human Services, right? Walensky, the president-elect's choice to lead the CDC, is currently the chief of infectious diseases at Massachusetts General. See, this makes sense. We'll see how this ends up. Like I said, they really need to focus on getting COVID under control, and they need to make sure that the people that they select will be able to, get clear results. So I suspect another wave of copium is going to come soon, as I guess it seems like it's official. They've certified all the results, because it says 306 to 232. This was very recent. 24 hours ago, Trump wins North Carolina officially. So I think that that's it. It's over. They certify. They certified all the results, it seems. That's why they probably posted this headline. So I suspect another wave of copium. I suspect another wave of copium coming. Can we take a second to shout out all the libertarians who essentially tanked Donald Trump's chances in Arizona, in I believe Wisconsin, in Georgia, the copium Jonas and people. Shout out to the libertarians. And I think Wisconsin as well. See, I told you, if you guys had a one-on-one discussion, I'm pretty sure you guys would have an awesome conversation. Before Dr. Fauci steals my name. There was a troll on Twitch by the name of Dr. Fauci. If anything, I think it's because our government negligence would happen sooner. Well, maybe. Did anyone see the senator who lost Florida by 40 votes because a shadow candidate with the same last name? Yeah, that was a pretty dirty trick. That was a pretty dirty trick. The man actually threw the playbook out of the window. Yeah, no, I don't think that would have anything to do with like the actual vaccine development. I think the problem was the rest of the response. The rest of the response, meaning like, like you said, he didn't do any type of shutdown. He didn't do any type of like mitigation control. He didn't stress the importance of listening to the health professionals. There's so much other things, but I think that the development of the vaccine actually started pretty early. They were already trying to figure out what to do probably by like January or March. Sorry, by like February or March, they were already trying to kind of decode this thing, right? So I think the real issue was the lack of concern, the ineptitude, and the constant, not only misinformation, but the constant downplaying of this problem. I think that was the real damage this administration did, plus the fact that they never actually took any national like mitigation efforts whatsoever. They kind of left it to the states, and then the states fumbled it, and then they just said "Cialabi." We are the youngest superpower with the superiority complex that we can be the first. We can't separate science, faith, and politics enough to answer properly about. Yeah, well, the polarization will be to try to get people to take it once we, like, if things continue and when we continue to see these positive results from these vaccines, if we continue to see the efficacy of these vaccines, and I mean, the problem will be to get people to not take it as a polarized incident, to just take it as science and facts. So yeah, of course, Homelander, that will be a whole other effort in and of itself. Like as these results continue to prove in a positive as these results continue to move in a positive direction, the difficulty will be to get people to actually accept science, right? Once we, as we get more and more and more good results from these vaccines. I'll take the vaccine first. A lot of people will be taking it first, Homelander. I think the healthcare professionals will be taking it first. Oh, I have science. Facts. People hate science and facts. Yep. I trust science way more than trust and a make-believe person who apparently comes back from the dead. Yeah, like don't listen to the politicians. Don't listen to anybody. Listen to the health experts who have been stressing this who have been working hard, who have been saving countless of lives. Just listen to them, okay? Don't even listen to me. Don't listen to me. Listen to the health experts, all right? And now, the candy, folks. The candy headline, I guess, or news. As if this would be a surprise to anybody. As if this would honestly be a surprise to anybody. Rudy Giuliani hospitalized after testing positive for coronavirus. I thought this was a hoax. President Trump's personal attorney, in the face of his long shot legal challenge to overturn the presidential election results, has been hospitalized after testing positive for COVID. The 76-year-old former New York mayor was admitted to Georgetown University Hospital on Sunday, a source familiar with the matter confirming to CNN. Giuliani appeared to confirm his positive diagnosis hours after it was announced on Twitter by Trump by tweeting that he's getting great care and feeling good. Must be nice. There have been no additional details provided about his condition, and it is unclear when Giuliani received a positive test for COVID-19. He and his spokeswoman have not responded to CNN's request for comment. The news immediately raised questions about the extent to which Giuliani was made frequent maskless appearances while crisscrossing the country in recent weeks to advance Rudy Giuliani, another super spreader. in recent weeks to advance Trump's baseless claim of the election fraud may have spread the virus among public officials. Wow. Sunday night it was announced that it's really weird how it just keeps happening to the Republicans, right? It's like there's just, it's almost like there's like a difference, right? Wonder what that difference could be. Spreading among public officials. Sunday night it was announced that the Arizona state legislature, where Giuliani had appeared at the beginning of last week, would be closed for the upcoming week over COVID concerns. Wow. Giuliani's diagnosis, the latest positive test for a prominent member of Trump's inner circle, also further undercuts the president's frequent, repeated, and misleading claims that the U.S. is rounding the corner in its fight against coronavirus. The nation is seeing a record number of hospitalizations of COVID patients, a surge in deaths, and experts and healthcare workers fear things will only get worse with the potential spike of infections fueled by Thanksgiving travel and gatherings. Yeah, that's not even completely we haven't even seen the effect yet. You gotta run and enjoy the day off. Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by, Stuke. I really appreciate that. Subsidy. Oh, yeah. Interesting. LLC and Carmelita Carr. Cool. They need to make some of them vaccines. Riverboat Jack had a good analysis. The right have no facts but great storytelling. The left has all the facts but lacks storytelling. Messaging. Yeah, I think the messaging definitely needs to improve. It's something the left needs to work on, creating engaging, easily to digest narratives for the layman. True. I'll give one to Round Midnight. I'm pretty sure the medical professionals are getting something first, which Round Midnight is. The SNL Halloween Orange Tan Super Spreader team? Yeah, basically. I'm just kidding, by the way. I know, Homelander, you're just memeing. Giuliani, who's considered a high risk for complications from the coronavirus due to his age, has repeatedly disregarded public health guidelines, appearing maskless in state capitals, hotel ballrooms, indoor news conferences in the recent weeks. At many of the events, most people in the indoor setting were also not wearing masks. Wow. Yeah. Oh my god. At some of these events, Giuliani was spotted shaking hands, hugging, taking pictures with people not wearing a mask. Giuliani, super spreader. I think as of this morning, there are no more current court cases on election fraud. I can't find any. At least I don't think there'll be more anymore. Considering the fact that as of 24 hours ago, I think the last state certified its results, giving the official count of 306 to 232. Giuliani has also issued U.S. Centers for Disease and Control Prevention quarantine guidelines after his son Andrew, as well as close contact and campaign advisor Boris Epstein. Epstein? What? Giuliani. I mean, the name is too much. This is like, this entire thing is like beyond parody. This entire thing. The day at, oh my god, I can't get over this. Epstein announced that he's tested positive. Giuliani traveled to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where he addressed a group of Republican lawmakers in a crowded hotel ballroom. So, like, even completely disregarding a CDC protocol after he was exposed. Will Trump now work on Supreme Court to overturn the election? I don't think they have a case, though. Like, they would have to have some type of case that would make its way to the Supreme Court. He didn't ignore it hard enough. That's obviously why he got it. Someone tweeted from Rudy Giuliani's account saying that he's fine. Yeah, he said that he's okay, even though he's in the hospital. But he's getting the best treatment, I'm sure. Most recently, Giuliani was at the Georgia Capitol in Atlanta on Thursday to attend a state Senate Hearing about the November election during a break in the hearing, Giuliani removed the mask he was wearing to greet and take pictures with supporters. Nice. He traveled to Michigan on Wednesday for a State House committee hearing about that lasted 4.5 hours, during which he was maskless as he pushed misleading claims that the election was stolen from Trump. Wow. Yeah, just more, look at this. His last name is Curse now, right? Who'd want a picture with me? Not me, that's for sure. I mean, this lady has like a whole bunch of like Trump gear, so. Yeah, he's a super spreader. Look at this. Incredible. Incredible. And then you wonder why we have like average daily cases of nearly 200,000, right? Dozens of protesters got outside. Oh, another one? Armed protesters gathering outside Michigan Secretary of State's home. Is it because they're mad that they're mad that Trump lost? Imagine throwing a tantrum because Daddy Trump lost and then having to show up armed to a house of the Secretary of State because they won't overturn that election. Trump didn't lose. Oh, he did. He did. He 100% did. Sorry. Reality doesn't like care about what you feel or about what you think. The reality is Donald Trump lost the election. That's it. And if you want to keep huffing the copium about it, I recommend you take a step back and look at the real world. A dozen of armed people. That's kind of weird. Dozens of armed people gathering, trying to intimidate for political gains or political motives. This is the definition of domestic terrorism. Okay? These are domestic terrorists. You sound like my lefty. You sound like my teacher, a lefty, and my teacher is a hippie liberal far lefty, and he didn't know I voted for Trump. What are you talking about? That's not how. You must be a troll. But hey, keep boosting my analytics, comrade. Hey, Mark Chavello. What do you think about Putin? What about him? Didn't realize he was our president. I'm from Russia. Well, Vladimir Putin is a authoritarian. I don't like authoritarians. Yeah, so this is a nice meme. And threatening violence in an effort to overturn the presidential election results in the state. Threatening violence to overturn the presidential election results. Wow. Imagine. Do you know that he poisoned Navalny? I think I heard this story. I wouldn't be surprised. Where else would I get this much copium? You'd have to ask who a guy. Listen, I'm staying right here. Yeah, I saw that there was a lot of evidence that probably did happen, Marcovello. Where can I get this much opium? That's why I could never leave the US. This guy just said move to China. Listen. Imagine threatening violence in an effort to overturn the presidential election because you're acting like a child. They're acting like children. The problem is that these children are heavily armed. Nobody's the only real Russian oppositionist, and you try to kill them. Yeah, like I said, not good. Not good. Most likely, it is plausible that happened. I wouldn't be surprised. It's not good, and I don't like authoritarians. That's why I don't gel. I don't gel with the Putin. Has he recovered? That was like months ago. Yeah. He's recovered, but that kind of poisoning has a lot of lasting effects. Send it to me via FedEx. The demands made outside my home are unambiguous, loud, and threatening. They targeted me in my role as Michigan's chief election officer. The threats of violence, intimidation, bullying the armed people outside my house and their political allies seek to undermine and silence the will and voices of every voter in the state, no matter who they voted for. Yeah, this goes to show you, again, the Republican Party, or the right in this country, has no interest in the Constitution, has no interest in democracy, has no interest in the rule of law. I mean, we see it over and over again. We see Tea Party officials that are an arm of the Republican Party calling for Donald Trump to suspend the Constitution. We've heard a couple of actual U.S. representatives asking to overturn the results in their own states, in their respective states. There was one guy in Pennsylvania, and I think there was another person in Ohio. Was it Ohio? I can't remember the exact state, but there was a couple of actual representatives, U.S. representatives, advocating for overturning the certified results. Gabriel Sterling, a top Republican election official in Georgia, said last week that President Trump's repeated false claims that the election was stolen from him had led to death threats, intimidation, and harassment. Yeah, interesting. Hey, who a guy? You okay with this? In Arizona, the Republicans are lobbying to enact Article 2, which they think that gives them the ability to fire and hire new electors. Yeah, that's not how that works. Yeah, like I said, Patience Law. It has been demonstrated that this election has been overly clear that the Republican Party just doesn't care about the Constitution, democracy, freedom, anything like that. They don't care about that. I mean, not that we needed any other not that we didn't know that. I'm just saying that this is a perfect illustration right here. Just from top to bottom, from the president completely denying the results of a fair and safe election, to the rest of the party, whether it be in state, local, and federal, have been all saying this election is fake and it's leading to real threats of violence, intimidation, and harassment. This is not okay. This is not normal. That's weird. I wonder why it just doesn't play all of them. Okay. Good luck to the United Kingdom as they get ready to deploy a huge vaccination program. Hopefully it turns out alright for them. I hope I'm clearly wrong about all my scientific concerns regarding the virus. I mean, regarding the vaccine, not the virus. Yeah, I mean, if it continues to show like promising results, even though I suspect that your big issue is that we're not getting all the all the complete picture, but we can only hope, right? The only thing Trump agrees with is leadership role, his leadership phone calls are perfect, so everything else and other problems he ignores. Exactly, it's a cult. It's literally like a cult mentality or personality or a cult kind of thing that's happening, right? Where people are being driven to potentially commit acts of violence in the name of the dear leader. Well, around midnight, I hope we can see positive things come from the UK. My bigger issue is long-term consequences. Since this trial isn't studied 8 to 10 years, it can be adverse long-term effects, maybe. Yeah, in fact, I highly recommend you follow Around Midnight. He can address all of those, like, actual medical concerns. Absolutely. I would just recommend to follow Around Midnight. They're probably better. They probably can speak in a better way than I can in terms of like describing the studies, like or the medical concerns regarding this. That's right, folks. Today is Pearl Harbor, so I guess I will go over this as we come to an end. December 7, 1941, the date which will live in infamy. President Roosevelt famously proclaimed, Americans on Monday will honor the 79th anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The surprise raid on the U.S. Navy base near Honolulu killed more than 2,400 Americans and left another 1,100 issue. In short, the strike signaled the entry of the U.S. into World War II. Yeah. Just before 8 a.m. Sunday, December 7th of 1941, hundreds of Japanese planes made the surprise raid on Pearl Harbor during the attack, which was launched from aircraft carriers. Nearly 20 American vessels, including 8 battleships, were damaged or destroyed, as well as 300 aircraft, according to the History Channel. The official death toll was 2,403. Includes 2,008 Navy personnel, 108 Marines, 218 Army service members, 68 civilians. Of the dead, 1,177 were from the USS Arizona, wreckage which now serves as a main memorial for the incident. 55 Japanese soldiers were also killed. Yeah, so in summary, that's basically what happened, and it signified our entry into WW2. After being apparently super skeptical, apparently according to historians, not only the Great Depression but World War One led us wary to intervention, which also all that was dropped as soon as we were attacked in Pearl Harbor. Those 2.5 years, the US had extensively assisted the UK, virtually the sole source of resistance to the Nazis in Europe. That's incredible. Like, you all have to like understand just how crucial England was to slowing or halting the complete takeover of like Nazi, Germany. I also really worry about the skepticism of a rushed vaccine by the rational-minded will be weaponized by outright anti-vaxxers. Yeah, I understand that concern. I believe Round Midnight also shares something similar. It's like, if we can show that this continues to deliver positive results, the goal then will be to try to get people to take it, right? That would be the next task. Like, if we can show and continue to produce positive results, the goal would be then to get the rest of everybody to take it, right? If we can continue to show positive results. Yeah, how do you explain to people that can concern or deny it? How do you explain to people that they can be concerned but not outright deny it? It depends. I mean, like, this era is so frustrating because, like, there's so much misinformation out there. There's so much conspiracy theories out there. It's just like shifting through all of this is the tough part. All right, folks, I gotta head on out of here. It's almost 1 o'clock. But the COVID vaccine is going to implement a spy chip in people. Facebook told me so on my smartphone. Exactly. Whose username? Alright, folks, it is almost 1 o'clock. I gotta start heading out of here. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys. You guys are what makes this go. Please, if you have a moment, hit that follow button up there and head on over to our YouTube channel and just smack that subscribe button. It really does help us out. Hey, thanks for the biddies, Astro. I appreciate that. And please just, really quickly smack that subscribe button. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you, Doc Midnight. Thank you all. Thank you all for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. Subscribe. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, doing news and politics. Hey, thanks for the biddies. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You guys are what makes this go, right? You guys are what makes this go. I appreciate that. Let's see who we can raid today. I believe Ben is on. Oh, Ben is not on. Tina's on. Tina's good peeps. Tina's good peeps. Alright, let's head on over to Tina's channel. Tina is very, very chill. Alright, folks. Let's give a awesome, difficult truth raid to Tina. Please go ahead and follow. They are a very good streamer. Yes. Alright folks, thank you guys so much again. I'll be back tomorrow 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time doing the news and politics. As always, please stay safe, take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya! Alright folks, let's go.